Hello, and welcome to the latest episode of This Fragile Fire, the premiere episode of season 2. And I'm very fortunate and happy to have a season 2. That this podcast has been enjoyable enough that I can have the desire and the passion to continue publishing for everybody. Um, Life has been definitely crazy lately, and I feel in the flow of just letting things pass by. And honestly, I feel like I'm just sitting and letting life happen. I'm letting life happen. I'm letting the days go by. I'm slowing down. And I'm not really caring about much other than what is artful and what I can do to be impactful and make my life more enjoyable. And I think that I'm entering a new era of my life. And what that encompasses is reinvention. Reinvention in who I am, starting again, figuring out a pace, and figuring out who I talk to and what's important to me, what I care about. Because, yeah, I mean, I don't care about anything all that seriously right now, but I'm trying to figure out what I do care about. But yeah, I'm excited for season 2. Season 1 was really good. We talked about a lot of things. We talked about health and wellness, Star Wars, talked about relationships, talked about AI, the government, religion. And I'm happy that I ended up doing what I sought to do with my podcast, and that was to be hosting a diverse range of various subject matter that crossed into every facet of life. And that's what this podcast is. It's not tied down to a single theme. It's about life. It's about humanity. It's about trying new things, breaking down old molds and building new ones, and even just actually throwing away the idea of molds altogether. Um, and I had my buddy Travis and Joseph on, and they were great. And what I want to do with this new season is I want to have more people on. I want to see if I can get more people onto the podcast and explore various topics, whatever they want to talk about, and I can just listen to them and see what new perspective they offer on the world. Um, I'm very eager to learn more about people, and in doing so myself. But this episode is going to be a shorter one, still celebratory, but it's going to be a shorter one, probably about 30 minutes. So having you all sit down and listen to me and we talk with each other. Um, we'll talk about something that's been on my mind recently, and that is the concept of starting again. And what is starting again? What does it mean to do something over? To forget about obligations to remain the same? For me, starting again is ushering in a new chapter of your life, a new version of you, a better version of you. The season I want to theme around rebuilding, redefining, and resisting the idea that we're stuck being who we used to be. And again, what starting again actually means is not erasing the past, but integrating it, applying the lessons that you've learned over the last year, 2 years, 3 years, and continuing to build on to your resume of existence. The pitfalls, the failures, the opportunities. What can you do personally to build on everything that you've experienced up to this point. Ask yourself, stop and ask yourself right now, am I better than I was 2 weeks ago? Am I better than I was a month ago? Am I better than I was a few months ago, a year ago, so on? If the answer is yes, good for you. And if the answer is maybe not or no, that's okay. It's worth examining. That's why it's important to stop, to slow down and really think about who you are and where you've come. Have I applied my lessons? Ask yourself that. Have I applied my lessons? Have I learned anything? Have I allowed myself to learn anything? For me, I feel like I'm continuously building upon the person that I am. I am so starkly different than who I was a year ago. No, and here I'll tell you this: who I was 6 months ago, even 3 months ago. I am extremely different, and it's remarkable, and it's for the better. I'm very pleased with who I've become. Someone who's more accepting of oneself, someone who is open to new ideas, someone who has cast off old friendships and has building new ones. I'm grateful. I truly am grateful. And life, and what I've come to learn is that life is characterized by seasons, not failures, seasons. We all have points in our lives that are low, but it's a cycle, really. We all have points in our lives that are low. Things that we do that mess up stuff and that are muddied and messy, but they're temporary. We're all capable of change and learning, especially when we make mistakes. And mistakes only become errors when we refuse to learn from them. And I know they're out there, but it's hard for me to conceptualize people who don't learn from their mistakes, who actively seek to continue making them, or they don't even see them as mistakes at all. It is imperative for your own well being and those around you that you build on yourself no matter what happens. It could be small, day by day, minute by minute, or it can be long days, weeks, months that you change. People change at different paces, but the goal of change shouldn't even be to change. It should be to really just reflect. Because if you're changing for what, figure that out. And I think that I don't think I know that we as a society in America, especially in our culture now, we have this immense pressure that we have allowed to be put on us, where we feel compelled and that we need to get everything right the first time. And if we don't get it right the first time, we're failures and we need to shit on ourselves and abandon our happiness. We need to compare ourselves to others. But that's not how life is. Life is a series of opportunities to change, to evolve, to learn about yourself and other people, the world. There's no such thing as getting it right on the first time. And if you do, you won't because again, there's no such thing as getting it right on the first time. You either do something good or you do something not good, but there's always room for improvement. So it's never perfect. You can do something really good or you can do something really mediocre, but you're not going to get it right, really. And society shames reinvention. We're scared of change. We're scared of, oh, you're not who you used to be. You're different. People that say those things are toxic. They need to be that you need to keep them away from you at all costs. They're scared of change, they're scared of development, they're scared of character arcs, they're scared of life. Don't be around those people. Oh, you changed. Yeah, damn right I changed, bitch. I changed. I'm over it. I'm over things. I'm not who I used to be. I'm better now. And if it's not for the better, those people that say, oh, you've changed and offer zero solution, but only criticism, also should be kept away from. But reinvention, when it is isolated to one person deciding that they need to figure out something different, pursue something different, or change themselves, that's reinventing. Oh, sorry, that looks like Star Destroyer is out there fighting. Kind of cool, huh? Anyway, people get scared of change and reinvention. Do not be. We fall, we fall, we fall, and we get back up. No one should be telling you you're incorrect for deciding to try something different because you will not get it right the first time. You know, I've reinvented myself a lot, a great deal. I went from a fat, overweight motherfucker as a kid due to my parents just feeding me anything I wanted. I went from a fat, overweight idiot to somebody now who is at the best shape of their life and getting better. Every day that continues on, I am in the best shape of my life. Truthfully, I'm reinventing myself every day by choosing discipline and by choosing the gym, by choosing health and wellness and diet, nutrition. My body is the healthiest that it has been. Effects reversed, like inflammation, depression, blood pressure, cholesterol. As a younger person, those things have been reversed due to a stark contrast and change of my diet, life, and well being. My habits, my routines, my discipline, my OCD, and weightlifting and cardio and all that stuff. I am a new person. I have reinvented myself with my dedication. My mental health, even. I used to be stuck in a rut, entertaining the terrible presence and guest that was depression, suicidal thoughts, very prominent. And there are moments of depression that I still experience, but ultimately, now more than ever, I can say with confidence that depression has become less and less prominent in my life. I find myself more focused on me and my life goals than ending it all because I look for the things in my life that are beautiful, beneficial, fulfilling, like my friends, like my family, like my art, and this podcast, and my goals, travel. I reinvented myself with romance, even. In this past year alone, this year of 2025 has been a drastic era for me. I started the year as a die-hard religious person who was deep into the Christian faith. I still identify as a Christian, but I feel more raw and in touch with the truth of humanity and our bond with Jesus. And in doing so, I've allowed myself to explore romance, to explore the part of me that I've never come to accept, and that was my being bisexual. I've accepted myself for who I am, that it's okay to like men and women, that it's okay to be different, that it's okay to experiment with dating and who I like and who I don't like and what I'm attracted to and what I'm not, and seeing the waters and testing the waters. I have completely allowed myself to immerse my heart in romance. to be hurt, to be happy, to feel the intensity of emotion and warmth, all after I blew the gates apart of my sexuality and let it free. My identity and who I am. Anthony will always be the same guy who loves Star Wars, who loves history, who's an artist, always. But now I have learned to apply my identity, myself, who I am, into different facets of life and being adaptable and meeting new people and allowing my experiences to shape me in beneficial ways. Because again, truthfully, I am not the same person by any stretch that I was even 3 months ago. And I'm very thankful for it. I have a more human identity. And in that being said, I have found peace. I have found peace in not stressing too much about life. I found peace in forgiving myself for things that I've done in the past that weren't so good. I found peace in accepting myself and who I'm able to love without the permission of a church or others. I've found peace in who I am, what I ought to do, and what I reject. I've also been finding confidence again in who I am. Because when I am started to embrace my identity, my sexual orientation, all of it, it took a blow of my confidence because it was a brand new world. I had no idea how to navigate it. But now I feel like I'm getting a grip on things. And I feel confident because I'm learning about myself and how I interact and what I feel. And I'm thinking, yeah, I can do this. I can love. I can feel this way. I can thrive. And that's beautiful. And it's a gradual thing. And it's all geared towards reinvention. And I'm proud of myself for that. All of you out there are capable of reinvention, taking a step back, zooming out and looking at who you are, what you've done, what you seek to accomplish. And all of it is fair game to be changed. You don't have to stay the same person you are because others want you to be. You can do whatever you want. And no one should be able to stop you. Another thing that I've learned is that, there are certain points in your life or certain story arcs that are going to force you to change, to restart, to reinvent yourself. Like, especially with relationships, in this new world of dating, for me, especially dating men, it's felt new and almost scary because there's a whole dynamic. There's like a whole culture around dating men, and that, can be the LGBT community, that could be just different emotions, men to men emotions, how one man responds to another. It's a foreign world for me still in some respects. And it's terrifying, truthfully, not knowing what to expect. And it's also freeing at the same time and humbling and empowering. And I'm okay to admit that, you know, embracing my bisexuality, it was terrifying because I felt like, ultimately I just said, fuck it. But at the end of the day, there was still a fear of rejection and people that I once called friends for a long, long time would have reservations about who I am. and gradually distance themselves. But I've come to learn that that is not entirely true or the way that things are. If people are really meant to be in your life, they will stay. They will choose you and they will support you. And the people that are not meant to stay, they move on. They do those things that they need to do, and the story ends for both of you. And that's okay. It doesn't have to be forever. And you don't want to force life or, and, inject this magical, potion of desperation into things that are dying because they're meant to die. Not always, but maintenance is important in relationships, but sometimes bonds are just meant to die. It's part of the reinvention process. You let go of connections that were rotting or dragging you down or just not really going anywhere, and you start anew. You shed the old and you show the new. And like now, one thing I'm trying to do is break routines, the cycle, the wake up, go to work, go to gym, study, sleep, rinse, repeat. I hate that. I don't like that. I'm trying to break it. And I want to fix that by fixing my sleep. And fixing your sleep ultimately is a big governor in how things will go in your life because sleep is responsible for your thyroid health, which all your hormones are made there, and anger and stress and this, that, and the other. Sleep is cortisol. Sleep is peace. Sleep is fighting depression. Sleep is healing. Without sleep, we are sluggish and will always be tired. Always, no matter what you do, no matter what energy drink you drink, you will always be chronically tired. And I want to break the routine that makes me that way. Staying up late, sleeping in, losing time. Like I want to have more time for things that I like my podcasts, my games, even playing games. I haven't played games in forever. Going out with friends, studying my NASM certificate, cleaning my room, organizing stuff. I don't like living life where it's just wake up, get ready, go to the gym, work, come back, be too tired to do anything, go to bed. Because then you have no time to do anything else like clean or organize or talk to people or eat food even. Like I'm not gonna lie, I've been doing not so good on my bulk right now because I haven't been eating enough. Some people wish they had that problem, which is I get. But I haven't been eating the amount of food I need to bulk or gain weight because I've been too tired or I forget to eat. And by the time my window to eat is here, it's already like 11 or 12. And I just like, I don't want to eat right now. But I feel like if I can sleep early, get up at a decent time, like 7, maybe even 6 if I go to bed at 10, I can have more time in the morning to get stuff done, you know, do some chores, go to the gym, go to work, and then still have plenty of free time later to do some studying or like games or going for walks, you know, especially during this season. Like, it's my favorite season, November, December. It's a time of holiday cheer and activities, and I want to have time for the activities and not be tired all the time. Everybody should be getting sleep. Doesn't matter what you're doing. Set boundaries. Every single rebirth feels like a small death and a small miracle at the same time. Restarting is one of the gifts of life, and everyone should do their best to initiate some type of development, even unconsciously. Like I said, you shouldn't be forcing yourself to change for the sake of changing. But one thing I'll say too is that you should never cling to old versions of yourself, especially the ones that are harmful. Nostalgia is good here and there, but ultimately, if part of you is not good, and problematic, don't go back to that. Easier said than done, but don't go back to that. Don't hang around your old crowd. Don't hang around influences that make you go back into the rut, that make you relapse. Like even for me, like back then, in the Navy and around that time, like I used to hook up a lot, like, you know, using apps and just, hooking up and here and there and like sex casually there, here. It's like, it's not worth it. And I don't want to go back to that. Like, oh, you're having fun. Your 20s, you're supposed to be your fun. Like, yeah, I can have fun other ways, dig ass. I can have fun doing other things. I don't need to be sleeping around. It's addictive, like drugs, alcohol, or like anything. I don't want to go back to that. I learned to value myself again. And, I want love. I want a relationship. I don't want sex culture. I really don't. And like, if I relapse into that or if I do that stuff, I feel disgusting and ashamed. It's like, why did I do that? There's steps to take to prevent relapse. And what I'm doing for that is, you know, asking myself, who am I? Am I the type of person with my worth and knowledge and personality, the one to fall into the trap of casual sex? I thought I was somebody of romance, and I am. So why then would somebody romantic or have a big heart just sleep around and Casanova everything? The answer is they wouldn't. So I'm stopping. I have a reputation, I have a personality, I have beliefs, I have morals, and I want to live up to those morals and set a good example for people that I know and my family. And most importantly, myself. People cling to their old versions of themselves because of nostalgia, fear, it's comfortable, they're guilty, they have identity fatigue, the lie that we're wasting time by changing, the pressure to stay consistent for other people, like I was saying with your old crowds, capitalism, routine, burnout, the pressure to always be grinding. Old versions of yourself are just that old. Get better. Stop hanging on to the old. Like that fucking cheesy ass line that Kylo Ren says, let the past die. Actually, it's not cheesy. It kind of goes hard. Let the past die. Be you now in the present. Practice things for the future, for yourself now. Live in the now. What can you do right now, today, to better your lives and to better who you are? And it's okay to move on. Don't just cut it out immediately and just and hit the ground running. Let it be a process. Let yourself mourn old versions of you. Take small steps and don't chase life overhauls. Surround yourself with people who encourage growth. Learn to rest your body and your mind without guilt. We're so accustomed to always need to be moving or doing something productive, but the body needs rest, and so does the mind. Listen to them. Stay curious. Have an open mind. Try new cultures, new food, learn a language. Stay curious about the world, ideas, philosophy, politics, friends, family. Stay curious. Meet new people. Stay curious about yourself, even. What are you comfortable with? And break those boundaries. Test them. Don't chase perfection, but chase alignment. Align with your values. Align with who you know you are. Align with what you know feels right. And embrace your messy progress. Because progress is still progress. It's not always perfect. Sometimes it's messy, but we fall forward and we keep going. And let your passions lead you back to yourself. When you feel things are messy and you need grounding, Remember what makes you happy. Remember what makes life worth living. It's like that song, Love is beginning. We have found something worth living for. Find the things that make you happy that you love to do when no one's looking, like drawing, reading, walking, meditating, reflect. And I'll close with this. You're allowed to change. Don't ever be scared to change. You're allowed to restart at 26, 36, 66 years old, as many times as it takes. The past is a wonderful teacher, not a prison. Your future isn't waiting for permission, it's waiting for you. And you are the governor of your future. You're the governor of your present. Remember that. You are the master of your own life. And if you know things need a change, stop, slow down, breathe, and just take that necessary time to evaluate where you are, who you are, and what you want to do. Abandon the stupid lie that we've been told in our capitalist world where you need to graduate, go to college, have kids, in that order, have a career, retire, die. That's not human life, and that's not realistic, and that's not anything God would want at all. We want life. We're humans. Life is more than what we get paid in. Life is more than what we do for work. Life is more than children, even. Life is a myriad of experiences, but you get to choose what you have and what you experience. And it's imperative that you not lose yourself in all of it. Remember yourself and stay true to yourself and others. And that is all for episode 1, season 2 of this Fragile Fire. I'm very excited to see where things go and what we'll talk about. And I'll be forming my own Instagram page for the podcast. So I'll be separating my personal one from the podcast, and I'll just do a whole new page for the podcast itself. So if you're on my Instagram, I'll announce the second page. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to see where things go, and I'm excited to see where life takes me, who I meet, and what happens next. So stay tuned for episode 2, and I'll be out soon. And much love to all of you out there, and cheers. Stay cool.